Hey there. Hope you guys are well. It's Guy Hutchinson here with you. Hope you guys are all staying safe. I just came from a grocery pickup, and this grocery pickup is right down the street from a place I wish I could be at right now, which is Sesame Place. Sesame Place is a theme park. It's geared mostly towards children, and I do have one of those, so we spend a lot of time there. I wrote the book about Sesame Place. If you guys have not heard of it, haven't gotten a chance to check it out, I highly recommend you go over to Amazon.com. You can pick up a copy. It's called Images of Modern America, Sesame Place, and tells the entire story of the history of Sesame Place in pictures and in text. Sesame Place normally would be open by this point in the year. This is New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I'm from New Jersey. Sesame Place is they say Philadelphia now to differentiate themselves from the upcoming Sesame Place, which is in San Diego. But this is it's a town called Langhorne, Pennsylvania. It doesn't have its own mailing address. It's a very small town, so mailing address I believe is Middleton. And it's right near the Oxford Valley Mall. So this is Pennsylvania, but it is real close to New Jersey. So it's right, you just go, you pay one toll and you're here. You go across one bridge and you pass by the Trenton Makes the World Takes Bridge, which is a historic bridge, I believe, was erected in the 1930s and has this set of lights across it that, I guess Trenton's version of the Hollywood sign. But you take that bridge and you're here in no time. Sesame Place, I want to give you guys, for those of you that have never been there, don't know anything about it, I want to tell you a little bit about the history of the park. Sesame Place opened in 1980. The idea was they were going to open several of them. They were going to have a whole bunch of them all around the country, and that idea was not to be. It in turn it led to one other park in a short time. 2 years later, there was a second Sesame Place in Texas, and that one didn't do very well. And then Children's Television Workshop, which is today's Sesame Workshop, was stuck in a bit of a financial issue because they had this park go under, which they co-financed with Anheuser-Busch. And so they had two Sesame Places. The one here in Langhorne survived, but the one there in Texas went under, which Anheuser-Busch dropped in the bucket. They were like, all right, well, that was a failure, no big deal. But Sesame Workshop, Children's Television Workshop, that was a huge deal. Then, around the same time, Atari went belly up, and Children's Television Workshop had a deal with Atari, so they lost a whole bunch of money on both of those. So, anyway, this was the only Sesame Place until the next one opens up. Now, normally this would be open. This opened in 1980. The opening day every year, because of this area, we're not year round. Although Sesame Place kind of does these, I think they call them shoulder events or whatever in the theme park industry. We're gonna drive by now, so let's take a good look. I want you guys to see this. We'll go as slow as we can, socially distancing ourselves. We'll be able to see that's the Oscars Wacky Taxi roller coaster right there. You can see that. And then there's the advertisement for all the new stuff that is supposed to be open now. And unfortunately, you can see everything's roped off, and even though the sign says welcome, you are not welcome. It is really unfortunate. Sesame Place is closed now. They usually have big giant umbrellas there. Those contraptions are sitting there without any umbrellas on. Here's the Sesame Place sign. This used to be in the parking lot in the 80s. They've remodeled Big Bird on it, but in the 80s that was in the main parking lot, which was actually located, if you split Sesame Place down the middle, that would have been right in, let me try to explain this. If you went in Sesame Place, right, you go in that front gate, and everything to the left of you wasn't there when the park opened in the 80s, but everything to the right was, and so everything to the left was parking lot. So Speaking of parking lot, we are right by the Sesame Place parking lot. We should be able to see, I can see it, so you guys should be able to see a marker there for one of the Cookie Monster parking sections. You can see that there. Yeah, this would be the back of their parking. You actually they rarely ever park anybody here. You can see there's all these storage containers. But this would be on a day like today, this might have been overflow parking. They might have been sticking some cars in there, but of course things are closed now. Hopefully we get back to normal soon and this can all reopen. We're going to be pulling around to the Sesame Place water tower. Now, they have not redone this in a while, and you'll see it's kind of fallen apart now. Sesame Place doesn't sponsor this water tower anymore. I don't know exactly why. They still have their advertisement on there because no one else has sponsored it. I can guess, though, that the reason is, and it looks like they closed this area, but we can see the top of it here. And then we'll turn around here. I could tell you the reason that I think it would be is simply that Sesame Place is located, well, first of all, Sesame Place is hitting, really high attendance numbers. So it's not as needed of an advertisement. But I think what's more important is the trees have grown up so high around it that it is much harder to see it from the highway. When I was a kid, you could see it from two different highways. Now you can only see it from one, and you can barely see it. So I think that's the reason. I think that's probably why it won't find another home or another sponsor. Let's try circling around a little bit more, and then I gotta go because I got groceries. I don't want them to get too hot. This here says no Sesame parking. Sesame Place does charge for parking, and so they don't want people to park here. Oh, here, look, they're doing COVID testing. All right, so let's just peek the top of that from here, and let's get out of here so that people doing important things can continue to do them. I'm Guy Hutchinson. I hope you guys are all super healthy. I hope that all your families are doing well, and I hope you guys are staying safe, doing all the right things, and I hope things are going well for you. And I love you all, and I hope to get to see you again soon. Goodbye from a closed Sesame Place. It's your old buddy and your old pal, Guy Hutchinson. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and we'll see you in the future, hopefully from inside the park when the park has reopened. Look again here. No Sesame parking. We're going to pass by one more time before I click the end button. This in front of us is the Sesame Place office building. It used to be a ski shop, but now it's the Sesame Place office building. Nice and colorful. Been in there a bunch of times, had some meetings. You can see a toll booth. This is the preferred parking lot here. And let me actually see if we can look over. There's a big bird, like hedge sculpture. See if you guys can see that right back there. I'm not sure if you could, but this is the main parking lot. And then let's go one more time by the park itself and say goodbye. There's Big Bird. Milton Glaser, the architect, the famous architect who designed the I Heart New York logo, designed that original logo and much of the park. Well, from Sesame Place, I'm Guy Hutchinson. Talk to you guys soon.